I was staring at the screen, reading the text message from my first love over and over again. "I'm back. Do you still want me?" I was so zoned out that I didn't even hear Ilara walk into the room until it was too late. Ilara grabbed the phone right out of my hand, looking confused and angry. "Why are you looking through my phone?" she snapped. "I already told you that Julian is the most important person in the world to me." When I didn't answer her immediately, she felt the need to clarify. "That doesn't mean I'm going to divorce you, though." I felt a little vein pop in my forehead. She had totally misunderstood the situation. "You're holding my phone," I said. The color completely vanished from Ilara's face. She looked down at the screen. "Who is this woman?" "I'm back. Do you still want me?" There wasn't a name saved, just the number, but I had a pretty strong feeling I knew who was on the other end. Just thinking about her face brought back a flood of old memories. Ilara was still standing there, looking suspicious. "Mark, since when do you spy on people?" I could see she was genuinely annoyed. Before this moment, she usually just ignored me or treated me like I wasn't there. I'd never seen her get this emotional about anything involving me. "I told you Julian is the most important person to me," she repeated, though she seemed less sure of herself now. I squinted at her. I couldn't remember if she had actually told me that to my face, or if I had just overheard her saying it on the phone to him. She only admitted it when she couldn't hide it anymore. That was after we got married. It wasn't really a confession. It was more like she was just informing me of the facts. When I stayed quiet, she added, "Of course I'm not going to divorce you." I shook my head. She really had this whole conversation backward. I couldn't help but point it out again. "Ilara, look at the phone. It's mine." Ilara swiped up on the screen. It was the only text message there. It definitely wasn't her phone. Her expression turned nasty. "Who is she?" I knew if I tried to act shady, she would just get more suspicious. So I gave her a straight answer. "Probably my ex-girlfriend." Ilara's grip on the phone got tighter. I had to remind her one more time that it was my device before she finally handed it back. Honestly, I couldn't blame her for mixing them up. We had the exact same model and case. Even the text message was identical to the one she had received. Her ex, Julian, had sent her the exact same words. "I'm back. Do you still want me?" It was a weird coincidence. The only difference was the date stamp in tiny gray letters next to the message. Ilara had been rushing to go somewhere, but now she suddenly stopped. She sat down on the couch and started asking questions, trying to act like she didn't care that much. "She's your ex?" Even though I had already told her, I nodded. "My ex. Actually, she was my first love. We grew up together. Our parents jokingly promised us to each other when we were kids." "How long were you together?" she asked. "A little over a year. If you start counting from the first time we kissed, then yeah, just over a year." "When did you break up?" 2019, I said. "The year before you and I got married." Time really does move fast. It felt like just yesterday, but Ilara and I had been married for almost 5 years. Ilara's posture relaxed a bit, like she had decided this woman wasn't actually a threat to her. "Isn't our 5th anniversary coming up soon? We should probably go out." "Does the offer about seeing other people still stand?" We both spoke at the exact same time, and then we both froze. She stared at her shoes, looking lost. I decided to break the silence first. "Where did you want to go for the anniversary? The family estate?" I just said, "Oh, never mind," she mumbled. "Glad I didn't get my hopes up." In the past, I would have assumed she actually wanted to celebrate with me. Ilara went quiet again. I looked at her face, which was half in the shadows. She had a blank look, and I couldn't tell what she was thinking. I worked up the nerve to ask her again. That thing you said a while ago, about us seeing other people, is that still on the table? She had brought it up herself, 2 months ago. She must have been sick of me asking her where she was going because she had snapped at me, saying, "Can you stop watching my every move? If it's that bad, we can just do our own thing. Go find someone else." At the time, it really hurt to hear her say that. But now I was actually kind of glad she had suggested it. It's funny how life works out. If you just roll with the punches, sometimes you get a lucky break. Elara let out a weird, dry laugh. "Yes, of course it does." She stood up and walked quickly toward the door. Her hand stopped right before she turned the knob. She didn't look back at me, but she spoke clearly. "I may have said we can see other people, but you are still my husband. Don't be too obvious about it." "Okay," I said calmly. "I'll just use you as the standard. I definitely won't be like you, setting off fireworks for him or getting into fistfights at parties." Elara turned around to look at me. "You'd better make it clear to her right away that you're married. Otherwise, a scandal would look bad for both of our families." I nodded. She was right about that. "I'll tell her." I looked at Elara, who was still standing there. "Is there anything else you need to tell me?" Her fingers were tapping against her leg, like a nervous habit. "What's her name?" "I don't mean anything by it. I'm just worried you'll get scammed or something." I cut her off. "Chloe, the CEO of Sterling Tech. Mrs. Sterling's daughter." I honestly didn't know if she was actually the CEO, but her mom was definitely Mrs. Sterling. This time, Elara didn't stick around. She walked out without looking back. Elara sat in her car, feeling totally rattled. She couldn't figure out why she was so bothered. Thinking about Chloe Sterling actually made her feel a little better, oddly enough. She knew who she was, had met her a couple of times. Chloe was on Elara's level in every way: family background, money, looks, and she had built her company on her own. Chloe was a woman with a lot of pride. She probably sent that text because she didn't know Mark was married. A woman like that wouldn't do something shameful for a guy like Mark. Besides, Mark didn't have that kind of charm. Her phone rang. It was Julian. She had promised to take him to a new restaurant that just opened. She let it ring 3 times before she picked up. "Something came up. I'll take you next time." Julian sounded a bit disappointed, but he was smart enough to tell her to handle her business first. See? This was the kind of guy she liked. She liked men like Julian. Attentive, gentle, and agreeable. Not sharp, logical men like Mark, who always had to point out the flaws in everything. After thinking about it for a long time, I decided to text Chloe back. "Is this you, Chloe?" "It is." A long time passed before she replied again. It was so long that I almost thought she wasn't going to. After all, our breakup had been messy. It was so bad she saw it as a betrayal. She left the country right after and hadn't been back once in all these years. I used to think we'd never speak again, that she would want nothing to do with me until we were old and gray. It took me a year after she left to slowly get over it. Then I married Elara. At first I was obsessed with being with her. She had this charisma that made me focus entirely on her, making me forget my problems. I thought I might actually be falling in love with her. But in the 4th year of our marriage, her old flame came back. Julian came back. It was such a cliché story. He had been forced to leave back then by Elara's family. After he cried and told Elara everything, all her morals went out the window. When I found out about her and Julian, she told me straight up that Julian was the most important person to her. If he hadn't left, I never would have had the chance to marry her. One sad look from Julian, and Elara would turn into a weapon aimed right at me, ready to hurt me at any moment. It was like our 3 happy years together never happened. But we both avoided talking about divorce. We'd been married for 5 years, but the Harrisons and the Calderones had been in business together for 6. The financial ties were way more complicated than they looked from the outside. We couldn't just split up that easily. But an open marriage was fine. For people in our tax bracket, this sort of thing wasn't exactly rare. It wasn't enough to mess up the money. I still felt nervous. I had changed a lot over the years. I wondered what Chloe was like now. I'm married. I struggled to type those 2 simple words. Waiting is agony. I don't know how much. Time passed before she sent a question mark back. I bit my lip, torn about what to do. Finally, I just took a screenshot of the text message I had typed and sent it to her as an image. What is this supposed to mean? The more anxious I got, the harder it was to deal with. My fingers kept hitting the wrong keys as I tried to choose my words carefully. I'm married, but it's not the kind of relationship you think. Before I could finish typing, she sent a picture, too. Her picture showed an empty screen. The message, "I'm back. Do you still want me?" was gone. I realized there might have been a misunderstanding, and I tried to delete the draft I was typing. But my eyes were watering and my vision got blurry. In my panic, I accidentally hit send instead of delete. I rubbed my eyes hard and quickly tried to unsend the message. A few seconds later, a new message popped up from her. We were playing Truth or Dare this afternoon. Ben probably grabbed my phone and sent that. He deleted it right after, so I had no idea. I'm sorry if it caused you any trouble. I felt more shame than disappointment. How arrogant was I to think she'd actually come back for me? That she would want a man who had hurt her and was currently married? Just because I had lost my standards didn't mean everyone else had. How could I be like this? I sent her a super embarrassing apology. Sorry, my mistake. Chloe didn't reply. I couldn't stand being in that empty house that didn't feel like a home. I went to my usual private club and started drinking, glass after glass. In a drunken blur, I thought I saw someone I knew. She was walking toward me. She looked like Chloe, but not quite. At least the old Chloe would never have looked at me with such a cold expression. I slowly closed my eyes. When I woke up, I was in a place I didn't recognize. I sat up, rubbing my head. I looked up and saw Chloe. She was sitting on the balcony. She was wearing a loose white shirt with her hair tied up messy, showing her neck. Her sleeves were rolled up, and I could see a long scar on her arm. 5 years had passed, but her face hadn't really changed. Time had only made her look more impressive. Even casually, it was hard not to stare at her. You can tell if someone is living well just by looking at them. Chloe must have had a good 5 years. Chloe was the first to look away. Only then did I realize I'd been staring at her for way too long. I went into the bathroom and quickly washed my face. When I came out, Chloe had her back to me, looking at the view. Chloe, thanks for not leaving me there last night. I remembered a little of what happened. I'd gotten drunk and refused to leave the bar. She had no choice but to bring me back with her. She turned around. Don't mention it. I'd do the same for a stranger. I got what she was saying. Don't get the wrong idea. I gave an awkward smile. Well, I'll get going then. I won't bother you anymore. I'd only taken a few steps before she called me back. You can settle up for last night's tab. Right, the bar bill. She'd paid for it. I pulled out my phone to pay her back, but she just held out her phone for me to add her as a contact. I don't make a habit of taking money from people I don't know. Chloe accepted my friend request without her expression changing at all. Did she used to have that rule? I couldn't help but wonder. But then again, it's normal for people to change in 5 years. So, how much do I owe you? $5,280. My fingers paused over the screen. That number seemed really high for just drinks. Before I could ask, Chloe guessed what I was thinking. That includes the dress. Her saying that jogged another memory from last night. I think I threw up on her. Our first meeting in 5 years, and I do something like that. It was humiliating. I never wanted to see her again. I rounded up the number and sent her $6,000, then practically ran out of there. Exhausted, I got home, took another shower, and passed out in bed. I was half asleep when I heard the door open. It was Ilara, only she would walk into my room while I was sleeping. As I listened to her footsteps, I woke up a bit more. She stopped by my bed, and I could feel her staring at me. I tried my best to keep my breathing steady. Everything seemed to happen in slow motion. I could hear every move she made. She picked up my phone from the nightstand. I'd never changed the passcode, so she unlocked it easily. She tapped around for a moment before stopping, like she found what she was looking for. I didn't have any secrets, so I had no idea why she was suddenly going through my phone. After a moment of silence, she laughed quietly. Just as I thought. Who does he think Chloe is? A person needs to know their place. Ilara turned off the phone, put it back, and left the room. Only after I heard the door click shut did I dare to move. I pulled the blanket up and curled into a ball. I knew what she had been looking at, my chat history with Chloe. A person needs to know their place. I repeated the words over and over in my head. I didn't know how to describe what I was feeling. It was like she had ripped open a secret part of me for everyone to see. I suddenly realized I had more pride than I thought. Ilara's insult cut deep. Before I knew it, I was crying into my pillow. Suddenly, my phone buzzed with a few notifications. I ignored it. The phone went quiet for a moment, then it started ringing. I didn't answer, but it just kept ringing. Annoyed, I grabbed it. It was Chloe. I wiped my eyes, calmed down, and waited a second before answering. I asked her what was up. Chloe ignored the question. "What's wrong with your voice?" I lied immediately. "Nothing, just a bit of a cold." "What's up?" The line was silent for a long moment. "You left something here. Come and get it, tonight." She hung up and sent me an address, not even giving me a chance to say no. Chloe hadn't done anything wrong. She just wasn't blindly nice to me like she used to be. I was the one who needed to get my head straight. I got myself ready, and before I got there, I practiced smiling in the rearview mirror. We were childhood friends, after all. We knew each other perfectly. Acting like strangers would just make it seem like we had something to hide. I also brought a gift for her. Inside the box was a set of white jade Go pieces. Chloe didn't have many hobbies, but playing Go was one of them, and it was something she'd wanted even before she went abroad. I saw a flash of happiness in Chloe's eyes. "You got this for me?" I nodded and smiled. Chloe rolled one of the stones between her long fingers. The white jade looked good in her hand. "Chloe, what was it you said I left behind?" Chloe opened her phone right in front of me. She sent back the extra money I'd transferred her. $720. I was confused. If it was just a transfer, why make me drive all the way over here? Chloe took a sip of water. "I prefer to handle money in person." $720. Honestly, in the time I wasted driving here, she could have earned that 100 times over. Still, I nodded, pretending to get it. Just as I was about to leave, Chloe finally got to the point. "The money is settled, but you still owe me a favor." I nodded. "Okay. Be my date to a gala." I froze, then cleared my throat. Every important person in this city knows I'm Ilara Harrison's husband. Chloe didn't seem to care. And every important person in this city should also know you're my childhood sweetheart." She was right. If we were open about it, I guess it wouldn't be a big deal. We didn't speak the whole ride there. Just as we got out of the car, Chloe suddenly stopped. She gestured for me to take her arm. We'd just walked into the main hall when we ran straight into the last person I wanted to see. Elara was staring daggers at my arm, linked with Chloe's. But wasn't she holding Julian's arm? She'd been taking him to all sorts of events for the past year. She'd even promoted him to be her assistant, which was a joke of a job just to keep him close. So why did her face turn so sour when it was my turn? She almost lost her cool in front of everyone. I didn't let go of Chloe's arm. Instead, I gave it a little squeeze right in front of her. Chloe had very thin arms. Elara was still blocking our path. "Ms. Harrison, what's the meaning of this?" Chloe asked. Elara tried to grab me, but Chloe stepped in front of her. Elara had to take a few deep breaths. "Let's find somewhere private to talk. Otherwise, we're the only ones who will look stupid." I glanced around. Anyone with a brain could see what was going on with Elara and Julian. But she was the powerful Ms. Harrison. She could do whatever she wanted, and no one would say anything. I couldn't. I couldn't make a scene. I sighed. "Chloe and I are childhood friends. Most people here know that. No one will get the wrong idea." Elara snorted. "Some childhood friends." I ignored her attitude and started to lead Chloe in another direction. Elara blocked me again. It was clear she wasn't going to let this drop. Fine, I might as well get it over with. We went outside. I walked out first, and Elara followed. Julian, who never let go of Elara's arm, naturally tagged along. The moment he saw me, he shot me a smug look. He deliberately pressed himself closer to Elara. I was done caring about his stupid games. I just saw him as a joke now. Elara suddenly stopped, staring at Chloe in shock. "Why are you following us?" "Well, isn't he coming along?" Chloe and I said at the exact same time, our sarcastic tones matching perfectly. Elara was speechless. Though she looked annoyed, she didn't say anything more. "When you want to judge others, you should probably check yourself first. The world isn't fair, but double standards are annoying." As soon as we found a quiet spot, Elara started the interrogation. "What is your relationship with her? Isn't she your ex-girlfriend?" I looked at her like she was dumb. Can't she be an ex-girlfriend and a childhood friend? All she had to do was ask anyone to find out we grew up together. She was the one who never paid any attention to me, yet she was looking at me now like I had betrayed her. Chloe, enjoying the drama, decided to stir the pot. "I was also his first love. And his fiancée. We had an arranged engagement." At that moment, Elara forgot all her manners. She lunged forward and grabbed Chloe by the collar. "So what? I'm the one who married him." Chloe didn't back down. "If I hadn't left, you never would have had a chance. Now that I'm back, you don't have one anymore." "He's married! He's my husband! Have you no shame?" Chloe smiled. "The one who isn't loved is the third wheel." Elara completely lost it. She raised her hand to slap Chloe, but Chloe caught her wrist. Chloe wasn't angry. She just laughed. "Let's just say I let you have that one." Her words were like throwing gas on a fire. The two women stood there, staring each other down. Julian tried to step in and break it up, but he was too weak to do anything. He almost got hit by accident. Seeing me standing off to the side watching, he stormed over to me. "You're enjoying this, aren't you? Watching two women fight over you." Actually, I wasn't. I couldn't figure Chloe out right now. But I knew Elara. This was just her being possessive, feeling like someone was trying to take her property. Still, what was the harm in messing with him? He'd messed with me enough times. It was my turn. I smirked. "When you tried to pull them apart just now, it was Elara who shoved you away. I'm not just her legal husband. It looks like I have a place in her heart, too. Julian's face twisted in anger. I knew I'd hit a sore spot. Elara and I had been married for 5 years. It was impossible for there to be zero feelings. For him, that tiny bit of affection she had for me was torture. A desperate look flashed in Julian's eyes. My gut told me he was about to do something stupid. Sure enough, the next second he jumped into the lake. My body moved faster than my brain, and I jumped in right after him. He was surprised to see me in the water, too. Then he whispered in my ear, "Want to see who Elara chooses? You're going to lose." With that, he kicked off me to swim away, pushing us apart. My body grew heavier and heavier. I could swim, but my suit was soaking up water, and it felt like I had weights tied to me. On the shore, the two women finally realized something was wrong. Chloe panicked instantly. "Mark!" I pushed my head above the water and yelled back, "I'm here!" Once Chloe saw me, she immediately dove in. Elara followed right behind her. Only after she saw I'd been pulled out did she seem to snap out of it and turn to swim toward Julian. My jacket was so heavy that Chloe had to help me take it off in the water to save me. She helped me over to a tree, then ran off. "Wait here a minute. I'll go get you some clothes." I was too embarrassed to look up and just mumbled, "Okay." Elara also dragged Julian onto the grass. Julian had been in the water a bit longer and had swallowed some water. The moment he opened his eyes, he clung to Elara's arm and cried. "Elara, he pushed me! Mark pushed me!" I scoffed. That was his only move. I hugged my knees and yelled, "No, I didn't! He pushed me! He wanted to see who you'd really choose!" Julian shook his head frantically. "I didn't!" Elara looked crazy. She glared at me, her eyes scary. "If anything happens to Julian, I will make you pay." I was speechless. "Are you just going to stand there? He swallowed water. Are you waiting for him to get sick before you take him to a hospital?" Only then did Elara leave with Julian, brushing past Chloe, who was coming back with a blanket. I was already shivering and sneezing. I took the towel Chloe brought and dried myself off. She turned her back to me. I tossed her a dry towel. "You should dry off too." She'd been in such a hurry that she hadn't even worried about her own wet clothes. Chloe only wiped her face, and then stopped moving. I poked her in the back. "I'm good." When Chloe turned around, she saw me completely wrapped in the blanket with a towel on my head. She couldn't help but laugh. Annoyed, I nudged her with my foot. Chloe sank to her knees, looking up at me. "Mark." "I'm so cold," I said, standing up. "Let's go." I was halfway up when she pulled me back down and leaned against me. "Can I just hold you for a minute?" The blanket was thick and warm, so I let her lean on me. "Mark, divorce her." I didn't say anything, pretending I hadn't heard. "Mark, divorce her." I still pretended not to hear. "Mark Calderon." Chloe was crying. I could hear her. I turned to face her. "Chloe, I can't get a divorce." She closed her eyes, tears falling down her face. "Just forget I said anything." I grabbed her sleeve. "Elara said we could see other people." "You saw her. She has Julian, and he has a kid. Elara and I just have a business marriage. I don't love her. I only love you." Chloe shook her head. "Mark, enough. I said enough. Don't say any more. This is the second time. The second time you didn't choose me. I guess I just like to suffer. There won't be a third time, Mark." She stood up and wiped her face. "Someone will be here to pick you up soon." With that, she turned and walked away. Without a word, she was gone. I pulled the blanket tighter. What does love matter compared to money? As great as Chloe was, she was just a woman. Life is long. I'll fall in love with someone else. just like I fell in love with Alara after Chloe left. There will be others, someone easier to deal with. Time fixes everything. That's what I told myself, but I couldn't stop crying. I never expected Alara to bring Julian home. I frowned. Alara, are you trying to force a divorce? I'd be happy to, as long as you give me the money in our contract. Alara laughed. You want a divorce? What's wrong? Your precious girlfriend doesn't want you? I shot back. We've known each other for over 20 years. She cut me off. Stop pretending. She flew out of the country this morning. I froze. She was already gone. Alara continued to make fun of me. Mark, you don't understand women. A respectable woman would never be the side piece for some guy. I nodded. You're right. My one that got away isn't like yours, who's perfectly happy to be a mistress. You know, people are funny. The more you can't have something, the more you want it. But the person you see every day, they get boring. They're just part of the furniture, right, Julian? He stared at me with pure hate. I smiled back at him. Then I made a phone call right in front of him. Soon, a construction crew showed up at the door. Alara came downstairs. What are you doing? I waved a hand. I'm having the whole house wired with security cameras, every corner, the kind that alert the police, and a backup power supply. And one day when you two aren't here, I'm going to install some hidden pinhole cameras. Haven't decided where yet. So I suggest everyone behaves. No objections, Ms. Harrison? It's for security, after all. Alara didn't stop me, but Julian looked panicked. This was a sign that she didn't trust him. His face was pale. I'm not feeling well. Will you come upstairs with me? He wanted to get her away from me so he could manipulate her. I wasn't about to let them off that easy. We agreed to see other people, and mine ran away. Alara wasn't going to get off free. Alara, why did you save me first at the lake? Didn't you say Julian was the most important person to you? But your instincts don't lie. Who do you really love? Julian's nails were digging into his palms, but he didn't stop me from asking. Alara just scoffed. I just got confused. I glanced at Julian. He was trying to keep a poker face. He held Alara's arm tightly, looking away from me. I smiled. If he really believed Alara, he'd be laughing at me. As for Alara, who she loves more doesn't matter to me anymore. I'm not going to feel good just because she might care more about me. I've had a lot of time to think. Alara will never love just one person. Between me and Julian, whoever is more exciting, whoever makes her feel sorry for them, that's who she'll love more. To be honest, the only person Alara has ever loved is herself. Lying in bed, I sent a message to Chloe. Are you already gone? The red exclamation mark meant the message failed. I sighed. Knowing her, she had probably blocked me everywhere. I opened my texts and read them over and over. Ben. He was like a brother to Chloe. I'd met him a few times. I found a mutual friend and got his number. The moment I added him, a message popped up. Hey man, you know who I am? Of course I know who you are. Dude, do you know where Chloe is? I need to find her. I checked the time. Chloe was probably still on the plane. She's busy right now. Let me ask you something first. Ask away, man. I'll tell you whatever. I sent him the screenshot of the text message. Did you send this? Holy crap! She actually said that? What a fake. She typed it out herself. Typed it, deleted it, typed it again. I couldn't stand watching anymore, so I just grabbed her phone and sent it. And she had the nerve to say she didn't know? I played along, complaining about her a bit with him. I thought she was lying. That's why I asked you. Dude, don't be mad. You know how Chloe is. She's too proud. But she really misses you. For the past 5 years, she hasn't dated anyone. Every day she wakes up thinking about how to make money and come back. But once the company was finally doing well, she got scared. Ben talked a lot. With a little push, he told me everything. Thanks for telling me all this. Seriously? Ben sent back 2 blushing emojis. This poor guy was actually happy about it. He was going to get yelled at by Chloe when she landed. I dragged myself downstairs. Ilara was sitting by the big window with Julian. Let's talk about the divorce, Ilara. You too, Julian. The 2 of them sat down across from me. Ilara closed her book. Mark, whoever asks for the divorce gets nothing. Are you sure? I told them not to rush. Let's listen to this recording first. I played audio from the new security system where Julian was admitting to faking the drowning incident to a friend on the phone. Ilara, split the assets 50-50. I'm not trying to ruin you, so don't make this hard. Ilara agreed. We arranged to go to the courthouse the next week to sign the papers. On the day of, Ilara wore the same outfit she'd worn when we first met. I had put it away after we got married. I had joked that we should wear those outfits for our divorce too, for closure. We never thought we'd actually divorce. I never thought the joke would come true. After the paperwork was done, Ilara offered me a ride. When I opened the car door, there was a painting inside. It was one I had given her. What's this? You're giving it back? Yeah, after all, it's not a painting of me. I looked up, confused. I never realized I look so much like Chloe from this angle. What does Chloe have to do with this? Right here by the eye. My beauty mark is missing. You painted Chloe. I almost laughed. I hadn't finished the painting at the time. I was waiting for a special paint. But the shipment got lost, so I gave her the painting before her birthday. Later, I touched it up with a different paint that was only visible at night. In the daylight, it was invisible. It seems she never once looked at the painting at night. Good thing I didn't care anymore. I shook my head, pretending to be sad. I can't believe you found out. Ilara grabbed my arm. So you never loved me? Was I just her replacement? Even if I said no now, she wouldn't believe me. I pulled my arm away. There's no point in talking about this now. Let's just have a clean break. I ran. The day I got the divorce certificate, I just ran. If I didn't, I was afraid my parents would kill me. But I was just so tired. I'd figured it out. My parents and I are different. I love money. I love having enough money to live comfortably. The divorce settlement was enough for me to live well forever. But my parents want endless money. We want different things. Sooner or later, we were going to fight. I'd already made them enough money with my marriage. From now on, I wanted to be free. I'm divorced. Do you still want me? Where are you? Downstairs in front of your company. Chloe ran down. Through the glass doors, I saw her take a second to catch her breath and fix her hair. Then she walked toward me, looking totally calm and professional. How could she be such a faker? Chloe looked up at me like she had a million things to say. Just as I thought she was about to say something super romantic, she spoke. Let me see the divorce certificate. My mouth twitched. Who carries their divorce papers around? Chloe insisted, following me back to my new place. Mark, the certificate. She started asking for it the second we walked in the door. I was getting a little annoyed and turned to her. Don't you believe me? Chloe's eyes turned red. It's not that I don't believe you, but I've been looking forward to this for so long. I can't wait. Every day I've imagined holding your divorce certificate. That sounded a little weird. Seeing Chloe looking at me like a sad puppy, I didn't have the heart to tease her anymore. I handed her the paper. She started crying again, but this time they were happy tears. Oh my God, my husband is finally divorced.